Hey guys, Happy New Year! It is January 2018 and this is the latest edition of the YFC vlog. I'm Steve and this is Tim. Tim is a legend, a living legend. It is very true. And today we want to talk to you about relevance and being relevant as an organisation, but also as Christians, as individuals. So YFC's mission statement is to take good news relevantly to every young person. And that's what we try and seek to do in Warrington. And we feel that as a youth work organisation, culture, especially youth culture, is shifting, it's changing all the time. We want to be relevant, we want to come alongside young people, but we also want to be in step with the Holy Spirit as well. We know that the Holy Spirit is always doing a new thing. We don't want to become stagnant. We don't want to be stale in our youth work and in our ministry. And we know that some things that start off as a movement can become like a monument after years. And why is that? It's because people tend to do the same thing. Well, this has worked, so we'll carry on doing it, and then they come to a place maybe 5, 10 years later, maybe several decades later, they're doing the same thing and they're wondering why the thing that they've always done does not work anymore. It's because the culture has shifted and youth culture is so rapid. So how do we get alongside young people in relevant ways but stay distinct? How do we keep the gospel distinct? Well, Tim, he's going to talk a little bit about what he's up to and how that plays out, how relevance plays out in the ministry that he's involved with. Tim.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about what it means to actually be relevant, and as an organisation we're always looking at new ways to speak to young people about God and about Jesus and about the gospel. And what I've kind of discovered over the last few years is that actually God is relevant to young people, and we forget that a lot of the time. And we will try all sorts of weird and wonderful ways to be relevant to kids, and we forget that the Holy Spirit is the one that transforms people's lives. So the first thing to remember is that God is actually relevant to young people, and the Bible is relevant. Now, the difference with this generation now is that this generation has never read the Bible, they don't know biblical stories, they don't know biblical principles. So relevance for me is more about how we actually speak to young people. Are we communicating in a way that they understand, that is relevant in that way that they can listen to it and they can apply that to their lives? So that's kind of the first thing. But we've also got to look at culture and see where it's at and where young people are at when we're looking at how to be relevant to young people. So for example, myself, I started a gaming ministry, and because for me there was a large group of people, a large group of young people especially, that weren't being reached in a way. So I developed a ministry to reach out to those young people in a way that they would understand. We also run a ministry called Fuse here at YFC, and the main goal of Fuse is to bring young people in through things that they enjoy, that they would just do in their regular lives, but also something that's going to entice them in. So we get big inflatables in, we mix it up all the time. We've had Nerf gun arenas, we've had all sorts of crazy things, and it's things that they enjoy doing. And a lot of the time we try and fit young people into our box and what we want to do and what we like and how we were brought up, and we've got to try and think of ways that we can get young people into a place where they're ready to hear the gospel, rather than just go in, hear the gospel and deal with it. So here at YFC, we have the difficult balance of mixing, not forgetting who we are and why we're different, and different is good. Like, being a Christian means being different from culture in a way, but also being relevant in a way that young people can understand and are ready to hear the gospel itself. So relevance is a difficult one, and it's something that I think we struggle with and that we battle with all the time, but it's something that we're constantly working.
Tim, that was fantastic.
Thank you very much.
What
Steve.
Wisdom right there. What wisdom.
I was called a legend right at the start. So
yeah, so we just want to encourage you guys to be relevant, especially when you're working with young people. Always be led by the Holy Spirit. Get into prayer, get into His presence. Lord, what is this new thing that you're wanting us to do right now? Let's not just be relevant for relevance sake. Let's not just be hip and trendy. We've got to be in line with the Holy Spirit as well. And And it's like that whole grace and truth thing when you're communicating the gospel or any particular Christian topic that might be setting itself up against culture, maybe the way that the world's thinking on a particular issue. We want to be gracious as we accept everyone. But when we're asked about our opinions on stuff, we want to also uphold the truth. And it's like that when we're trying to be relevant, we're trying to meet the culture head on, we're trying to communicate to the culture of the day, but we're also trying to be true to the gospel and the message. So that has to be intentional as well. So we're just going to leave you with that, pray into it, and we'll see you next time, one of the team, in February. Bye.